Hiya, good morning. Good morning from England. I'm in my car. This is a strange place to do a video, but I've got half an hour and I wanted to talk about something very important, so I thought this would be a good chance to do it. So, sorry about the surroundings, but just let them fade out. They won't be important after a while. I wanted to talk about beliefs. Since the last video that I made, I have been working with some people. Okay, and what's come very, very strongly to me, what I realise, is that I've probably underestimated how strong the beliefs of the Jehovah's Witness sect have been installed in everybody, really. Anyone who's been a Jehovah's Witness, particularly if you've been a Jehovah's Witness from the very early years, these imprint years that we talk about. I have to take my hat off to them. I really do. I have to take my hat off to the Jehovah's Witness organisation, sect, cult, call it what you will. Whether they've done it intentionally or whether they've just by mistake, what they've got is a system in which their beliefs are so deeply rooted into people's minds that 10, 20, 30 years later, people are still terrified. They still believe. Now, isn't that awesome? All that time that's gone and people are still terrified of the end coming. People are still wondering, watching for the signs of the times, etc. So, well done them, the bastards. However, it's not all bad news, because I have something very important to share with you about how you are going to stop this from happening. Okay? If you, or if a friend of yours or somebody you know is still stuck in this belief that maybe they're right, and asking themselves the question, what if they're right? What if they're right? Okay, if you're stuck there, or you know somebody who is, then please get them to watch this video. Because the very first thing that I want you to do now is this. Every single time that you hear yourself say, what if they're right? I want you to say immediately afterwards, and what if they're wrong? Okay, because when you look at what if they're right, and I'm going to explain why in a moment, you're looking in the wrong place. You're setting yourself up for a fall. When you ask what if they're right, you are absolutely setting yourself up to be proven that they're right. Let me explain how. Okay, beliefs are really what make us who we are. Our beliefs are the fundamental kind of root of who we are. Okay? Now, we have two kinds of beliefs. Oh, I'm sure we have many more, but two principal kinds of beliefs. We have the belief that we have chosen based on proof, the perceived proof, I must say, okay? Perceived proof, or we've logically looked at something, and based on what we have seen, we have made a decision to believe that. Right? That's our conscious belief decision. Then we have another belief, the belief that has been given to us when we were of no age to know whether that was a good belief or not. And these are the beliefs that the Jehovah's Witnesses have been given. Okay? From birth. Now, the problem with the beliefs that have the problem with all beliefs is, I'm going to hark back to what I was talking about in another video, they're not true. Beliefs are not true. They have no basis in truth whatsoever. Truth somewhere else. Okay? What beliefs are your perception of what is true, not the truth. Okay? Why? How can I say beliefs aren't true? Because you talk to 10 people and ask them their beliefs, everybody's going to have different beliefs. How can they all be true? They're just perceptions. Alright? Beliefs have nothing to do with the truth. So, what we've got is a situation in which our beliefs, based on our beliefs, the beliefs we carry, we see proofs of those beliefs. The mind is a very, very complex thing, but one of the big jobs it has is making sure that we are proven right. It makes sure that what we believe to be true is true. Why does it do that? Well, its job is to stop us from going nuts. Okay? Imagine that you believed you couldn't fly. But every time you walked out of the house, you started to fly. But you truly believed that you couldn't fly, and yet you were flying. What would happen is, you would have this what's called cognitive dissonance, but this twisting inside of your body. One belief fighting against another belief. And you would become very, very mentally ill if you continued believing that you couldn't fly and flying. Okay? Well, what your mind does, it takes your belief. Let's say you believe that all young people, like teenagers, are bad. Just imagine, you believe all teenagers are bad. That's your belief. Now what happens is your mind will ensure that you will see teenagers behaving badly. So every time there's an incidence of a teenager behaving badly, your mind will kind of draw your attention to it. It isn't just that it makes sure you see it. It draws your attention to it. You are focused. Why? Because it's a proof that you were right. And you see a teenager behaving badly and you say, "Ha ha! I knew! You see? I told you." Okay? That's the mind's job. And it's a good job. It does a good job. Except when you've got shit beliefs. Okay? Because the same applies. When you believe that the world is coming to an end, when you believe that the signs of the times are happening, when you believe that a great tribulation is coming, when you believe that, your mind will go all out to make sure that that's what you see. Constantly. Okay, it's incredible how the mind can draw your attention to everything that is bad around you. Why? Because it wants to prove you right. Okay? And you know what the interesting thing is? The exact opposite. If you believe that young people are bad, what happens is, if you happen to be around in a situation in which a young person is behaving well, do you know what your mind does? It makes you ignore it. It gives you a scotoma, a blind spot. You can't see it. Literally, you can't see it. It's almost like negative hallucination. Your mind dismisses it. And even if it's there in your face, good person behaving well, do you know what your mind does after that? If it can't make you ignore it, it then rationalizes it. And it says, well, that's a one-off. I bet as soon as that young person gets home, I bet they start behaving like all other people, because all other young people are bad. And so what it does, it takes the proof that your belief is incorrect and it rationalizes it and negates it. Okay? And that's the mind's job. So what you've got now is you've got a set of beliefs, if you have, a set of beliefs about the world coming to an end, about the Jehovah's Witnesses being possibly right. Okay? Now, this belief that you've got has nothing to do with the truth. Understand, it has nothing to do with the truth. It's just a belief. We change our beliefs constantly. We're able to change our beliefs like that. Can you believe it? We can change our beliefs. Okay? A friend of mine believed that he was a pacifist, that he would never kill. He said to me, "I would never kill because I'm a pacifist." And I said to him, "Okay, you have a son, don't you? Right. Imagine somebody has a knife at your son's throat and he's going to cut your son's throat. You've got a gun. Are you going to kill him?" And in that instant, his belief changed, because he realized that there were circumstances in which he would have to kill somebody if he needed to. He would do it. So his belief changed. Beliefs are not solid. They're not concrete. They change all the time. Get new proof, new belief. Okay? And that's as simple as it stands. The problem is, we're stuck inside this circle where we believe something. We believe the world's coming to an end. And so our mind only gives us proof. It only gives us proof. And every time that we see something else, it takes it away. It makes us ignore it. Something that disproves the fact. It makes us ignore it. Okay? Classic example is in the way that news is represented to us. And this is something I want to talk about as well. First of all, let's move on to that. You have got to stop. You've got to break this cycle. This cycle of looking for proof of the world ending. Okay, you must break this cycle. Now, how do you do that? The first thing that you must do, and I'm telling you, I don't even think this is a suggestion. If you want to get well, if you want to get mentally better, you must do this. Okay, and this is something very simple. You must, from now, stop watching any news. If I was going to make a suggestion to you, I would say turn the television off and leave it off. I've never watched the television for more than 10 years now, and it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. Turn the television off. But if you must watch a television, turn the news off. Do not watch the news anymore. Do not listen to the news on the radio, and do not buy a newspaper. Why? Because they are feeding your fear. And they are doing it. Your mind doesn't even need to dismiss the good news, because there's none. There is none. There's only bad news. Now, let's just do a little test here. I want to show you something. If you think about the news, what percentage of the news is bad news? What do you think? You think about the news. What percentage is bad news? Would you say, I'll put my money on 9 out of 10, 90% is bad news. And I think I am grossly underestimating it. I would say probably 99.99. But let's be fair. 9 out of 10 things that you hear on the news is bad news, okay? Feeding your fear. Feeding your fear. Now, think about all the people who are in your life. Your family, your friends, your work associates. Think about all the people that are in your life. And then decide, out of all of the people that you associate with, how many of them are bad people? Very bad. Okay, how many? Out of 10. But I would put my money on the fact that you would probably say, with all the people that you associate with, probably, I don't know, 2 out of 10 are bad, 1 out of 10? So maybe 90% of the people that you know are good or more. So, I don't know any murderers, I don't know any thieves, I don't know any drug addicts, and all the people that are around me, the people that I have in my life, are basically good people. Okay, so let's say 9 out of 10 people are good. Okay? The news is telling us that 90% as a minimum of the world is bad. And when we look at the reality, which are the people around us, this is life, we're finding exactly the polar opposite. So what does that tell us about the news? The news does not represent the truth. The news is based on feeding fear to the masses. That's their job. Okay? Their job is not to bring you good news, it's to bring you bad news. And let me tell you, I have friends who are on the inside of the media, and they will tell you that a lot of the stories that we see on the news are invented. They are made up stories. Okay, people are paid money to have photos and videos taken just to back the story up. It was never true. Why do they do that? Because the news has to, it's a business. This is not here for your good, you know. The news isn't here to help you. The news is a business. It's here to sell news. And so what they do is they give you stories. They have to invent stories. They have a deadline. Right, where's the story? If they haven't got one, they have to make one up. And I'm telling you that some of the stories that you have seen on the news, the stories that have filled you full of fear, are not true. That they have, or maybe they are true, but they are not caused by what you think they're caused by. That's something for you to investigate later on. But what I'm saying to you is this: stop watching the news. It's feeding you fear. Right. Imagine your mind is looking for proof that the world's coming to an end. You look at the news, that's it. The world's coming to an end. Anybody who watches the news, an alien from the planet Mars, will look at the news and say, shit, I'm getting out of here because this is dreadful. Okay? The world isn't like that. That is not true. Okay? So, that's your first job. Now, beliefs. Okay, let's get back to beliefs. So what you've got to do is you've got to change your beliefs. As soon as you change your belief, your mind will start to look for something else. It will start to look to prove something else. Now, the question is, the world is coming to an end. Do you think that that is a resourceful belief? No, it's not resourceful. Why is it not resourceful? Because it fills you full of fear and it makes you powerless. Okay, it does not empower you. It makes you powerless. It makes you the victim. You have been a victim for too long. It's time now for you to be your own self, to empower yourself. Okay, the victim mentality will just keep making you a victim. All right, so it's time to take action. It's time to do something about it. How do you change your beliefs? Right, let me explain how beliefs work, and this isn't my metaphor, but it's a very good one. Beliefs are like a tabletop. Okay, here are your beliefs, but the table is held up by legs. Each one of these legs is a belief. Okay, the more beliefs you have, the stronger that whole belief is. So imagine the world's coming to an end. What makes you believe that? Okay, you're going to be one of the worst people when tribulation comes. It's because you know it. Yeah, what makes you believe that? All right. So what you've got to do now is start to ask yourself the question: why do I believe that? Now there'll be an answer. Okay, it isn't just because. No, that's no good. Because won't work here. Why do you believe that the world is coming to an end? Because, let's say, for example, because the Bible talks about the signs of the times. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right. So there's one belief, the Bible. Because the Jehovah's Witnesses have talked about this. So what you have to do is look at what's making you believe it. And then this is your job. And it is an easy job. It is an easy job, but you must do it. Take the belief that you believe and go and find what proves it wrong. Go and find the proof that that belief is not true, or at least that it's got more holes in than Swiss cheese. How do you do that? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You go on the internet and you say, Jehovah's Witnesses prophecy of the end of times is false. Put that into Google. 75 zillion, trillion, billion pages will appear. And then you start to read them. And you continue to read them until you get a sense that, wait a minute, I think this might be a pile of shite. Okay? You see, the question is, how much do you believe it? Now, I've been asking some people, give me a 0 to 10, give me a number. The world's going to come to an end, based on what the Jehovah's Witnesses are talking about. How true is that to you? How true is it? Give me a number. Now, people are giving me, what is your number? Think about it. People are giving me, 5, 6, 7. Okay? That's too high. That's too high. I'm not saying that you shouldn't believe that the world's coming to an end. Because we aren't, they are doing some very weird stuff to this world. However, I think mankind could potentially come to an end, but the earth won't. We're not that good, you know. We're not that good. We can't destroy the earth, but we can destroy us. But that's a very different type of attitude. That is, hey, unless we do something, unless something changes, then we're giving ourselves problems on this earth. But this is not about what the Jehovah's Witnesses believe. This is not about the end of times. This is not about the Great Tribulation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I expect is that you have a belief that the world could come to an end running about 2. Right? That's where probably mine is. I know that there's some pretty shitty things happening in the world, but I also know that the vast majority of us are great people and we're all working to make this world better. Okay? So that's a balance. It's not balanced if you believe that the world's going to come to an end because the Jehovah's Witnesses say that. Okay? So what you have to do is get your beliefs to a balance. Okay? I know I'm going to die. I've said this before. I am going to die. We all are going to die. I know that. I'd be silly to say I'm not going to die. I'd be silly. But I'm going to die in a normal and natural way, I assume, anyway. There's a very small percentage of chance that I wouldn't. But generally I'm going to live a long life and I'm going to die. As a normal person in a normal death. Okay? So I've got a belief that I'm going to die. But it doesn't make me frightened. Okay? If you've got a belief that you're going to die and it terrifies the life out of you, then you need to change that belief. Why do you believe that you're going to die? And why is it making you frightened? Okay? What's so frightening about death? Okay? It's coming to us all. Why are you frightened? So you need to look at why. Okay? What is it that you believe? It's all about what you believe. If it's because you're frightened because you believe that because you've been thrown out of the organization or because you left, you're one of the bad ones, it's going to be worse for you. If that's your belief, go on the internet and prove it wrong, because it's the Jehovah's Witness belief structure, okay, is so crap. It's so beyond crapness. It's into the shitiness. It's into the wholly wrong. Okay? But I can't tell you that. You need to see it. You need to believe it. Now, how you do that is research, research, research. Now, there are lots of pages that you'll dismiss and say, well, that's just ridiculous. Okay, I've done that lots of times. But research, research on the things that you believe until you don't believe them. This is so important for you. Knock the legs out from your table. This is what you're doing. Your table's held up by these beliefs. Okay? It's a shit belief. It's not empowering you. Let's change it. Knock the legs out. Right, I believe that the world's because of 1914 and the Christ's presence. Check that out. Knock the leg out. Okay, I believe that the world's coming in because of the signs of the blah, blah. Okay, switch the news off. Stop watching the news and start looking at how beautiful people are. Start looking at how beautiful the world is. Pay attention to the wonderfulness that people are. Because we are wonderful. You are wonderful. Knock the leg out of that shit belief. It hasn't helped you. Don't hold on to it. It's not keeping you safe. Okay? It is not keeping you safe. It's keeping you in stress. It's keeping you depressed. It's keeping you angry. And it's making you ill. Physically and mentally. Knock the leg out. Get rid of that belief. Spend time on it. Whatever you believe, get rid of the belief. Okay? It's absolutely vital. And then, once you've gotten rid of all of these silly beliefs and gotten them down to a reasonable level of possibility, because everything's possible. Okay? Once you're there, then you need to start deciding, what do you want to believe? What is it that will make you happy? And my only advice to you is this. I can't tell you what to believe. Nobody can tell you. Nor should they tell you what to believe. Because what you believe is so personal. It's between you and whoever. Your maker, the creator, or nobody. It's just a belief. And please, do yourself a big favour. Whatever you choose to believe, make sure that it empowers you. Make sure that it makes you feel happy. Because remember, beliefs have nothing to do with the truth. These are what we decide to believe. So, what do? You find the proof to show you that the things that you're believing now are shit. And they are shit. Trust me. You will discover. If you start to look, you'll discover the shit. Once you discover that the shit, the belief's gone. Okay? Then decide what it is that you would like to believe. This is all you need to do. I would like to believe that reincarnation was true. I would like to believe that we came back again. I would like to believe that there was life after death. I would like to believe, it doesn't matter what you want to believe. I would like to believe that this life is all that there is and there's nothing more. Go on to the internet and put in, this life is all there is, there's nothing more. There is no life after death. Okay? And read up and prove it to yourself. Remembering that it's not true. Just prove it to yourself. Because beliefs are all based on the proof. If you want to believe in reincarnation, read up about reincarnation. There's zillions of information about it. If you want to believe in going to heaven, do that. Look at all the life, out-of-body experiences that people have had. Whatever you want to believe, there's proof there. Whatever you want to believe, you can find proof. Okay? Find yourself some decent beliefs and get cracking with this life, okay? Let's get rid of all of this shit, all of these crap beliefs, and let's get cracking, eh? Mwah! Love you all. Take care. Bye.